Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. I'm Chris. I started this channel because I'm a fan of craft beer and I wanted to prove to myself and to others that it is possible to enjoy good quality beers without breaking the bank. So the beers that I review on this channel usually come in around the $2 price range, and such is the case with today's selection. I paid $1.99 for this 12-ounce can of Bubble Stash IPA from Hop Valley Brewing. Hop Valley is out of, where exactly? Eugene, Oregon. I knew they were out of Oregon. They're out of Eugene, Oregon, and they make a lot of IPAs actually. They're kind of IPA people. Um, this beer is this beer has a 6.2 ABV. Typically, IPAs, American IPAs, come in between 5.5 and 7.5, so it's about halfway point. It has 45 IBUs. Typically, American IPAs come in between 40 and 70 IBUs, so it's sort of at the lower end of that. Um, does this say? Oh, here we go. Our brewers reached into their secret stash of mosaic cryo hop resin to create a tropical dankness in this new age IPA. Take a hit of these bright, sweet fruit notes in this easy drinking bubbler. You won't want to pass this one. Okay, so there's the ins and outs on that. Quick notes from the reviewing community. Let's see here. 10 of my friends on Untapped gave this a 3.93 cumulatively. 18,000 of us have given it a 3.76. These are not stellar scores. Beer Advocate has 75 rankings, giving it a cumulative score of 87. On their ranking, that is a very good score. The hops that compose of this, mosaic and hop resin, which they said at the brewer's website is a late addition to get the resin. So there you have that. They also use two-row caramalt and carafoam malts. And there you have that. So, guys, that's the thing about IPAs. There's really not much to tell you about them. There's speculation as to whether there's even truth to the story of IPAs got their name because they were overhopped in order to stop from molding on the way to as the British were sending beer to their troops in India when they were colonizing India. That may be true, it may be not. I seem every time I find an article that says, yep, that's the case, I find somebody who says, no, that's not the case at all. So anyway, IPAs, unfortunately, there's going to be more IPAs because the last time I went to the store to do the December reviews, that was pretty much what I found was IPAs and IPAs and IPAs. I wasn't even able to find much in the way of Christmas ales, and I certainly couldn't find any around the $2 price range. So, but Hop Valley does make good IPAs. Like I said, I don't know that they make much but IPAs. I probably should have done that before. That's a little bit of research I probably should have done before I started this review, is finding out what exactly they make and what I've had specifically from them that wasn't IPAs. But anyway, this is the Bubble Stash, and we're going to give this a shot. I am going to be using my stemmed IPA glass from Stone. Speaking of another brewery that is known for making gobs and gobs of IPAs. So, and see, problem is my beers end up at the back of the refrigerator, and so I end up a lot of times with over foaming in my beers. Such is the case with this one. So let's pour and see if we can't possibly overcome. Okay, good. Good. All right. Well, let's take a look at this. Let's view it. I am going to describe that as medium-high carbonation. Actually, a fair amount of carbonation. Guys, what you're seeing on the camera is maybe a half a shade darker than the actual color itself. So it's nice when the camera actually produces roughly the same color, even if it's not exactly the same color. It's nice when it's roughly the same color. I'm going to give this a quick beard wipe, see what I can come across. I smell a lot of hops, that's for sure. That resiny, yeah, I can smell the hop resin, that's for sure. It's there's just a different tin. I don't know what to. Okay, well, I'm gonna stick my schnoz into this and see if I can actually come up with good adjectives to explain the differentiation between a hop bouquet and a hop resin bouquet. There is a certain oiliness that is coming through that you don't normally smell with with a typical IPA when it's just super hopped. The hop resin Okay, for those of us who are cannabis consumers, there's a certain dankness to this smell that to this bouquet that you wouldn't normally get from most IPAs. Very citrusy. Getting a lot of citrus. Was it? Did I say it was mosaic? Yeah, mosaic are known for having sort of a sort of a citrusy uh, aroma to them. Citrus and hops, and like I said, there's a certain dankness to that resin that I'm getting through. So, anyway, I'm going to quit yapping my flap and get to drinking. Cheers. Hmm. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Giving that a second to roll around in my mouth. It's not particularly bitter. Of course, it only had 45 IBUs, which does put it at the lower end. Was it 45? Let me make doubly sure. Yeah, 45. Typically, American IPAs come in between 40 and 70, so it's actually on the lower end of bitterness. There is a sort of almost creaminess to it, which I can definitely appreciate. I'm going to describe that as probably a medium mouthfeel. There's a little bit of spikiness to it, not really much in the way of an alcohol burn. Not getting really a boozy bouquet or boozy flavor, or for that matter, like a burn, like I said. The bouquet isn't really changing as the air gets to it, so it's still staying that hop resin and citrusy bouquet. This isn't a bad IPA. I think maybe, let's see, was it 3.93, 3.76, were respectively amongst just my friends and the entire community on Untapped. That seems probably fair. Let's see, this came in a can. I would give it a 3.5. So, those of you who watch this channel regularly know that I'm a big fan of cans, and I will give a beer an extra 0.25 when I rank it on the 5-point scale if it comes in a can. So this is going to get a 3.75. This is not an IPA that's going to redefine the variety or even really one that's particularly noteworthy, but it's still a good beer. So, like I said, it gets its 3.5 for being a beer and the extra 0.25 for coming in a can. And there you have it. I think I've got another IPA, guys. I'm trying my best to keep the IPAs out, but no IPA October is over, and I just trying to find beers that are in the $2 price range other than IPAs on the shelves is very difficult, at least in my market. But I am going to try, and hopefully that maybe after the year when some of the Christmas stuff goes on sale, I'll be able to do some other varieties other than IPAs. When I've got some other varieties lined up, but IPAs just do seem to predominate. Well, guys, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.